extraordinary to me that you cannot take care of yourselves or your children. How do I know what damage you have done my horses?
I believe our family name of Saint-Evremond to be the most detested in France. Sir, we have done wrong. The last request of my dear widowed mother was to redress the wrong and have mercy.
I will die, perpetuating the system under which I live. Charles Evremond, you are an immigrant whose life is forfeit to the Republic under the decree which banished all immigrants upon pain of death. It is of no matter what the date of the decree. It exists. He is here, and his head is demanded.
An enemy of the Republic! Out of the way! I will scare you to pieces! You shall not pass! The Evremonds must be exterminated!
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Unsettling messages had lately come to the English crown from America. On the other side of the channel, France rolled smoothly downhill. Both countries were on the path to revolution.
Mr. Jarvis Lorry of Tellson's Bank?
Yes?
There is someone to see you, sir. Please follow me.
You are Jarvis Lorry of Tellson's Bank?
I am.
This is Miss Lucy Manette. I am Miss Pross.
I received a letter from the bank, sir, about some property of my poor dead father whom I never saw. It says I must go to Paris with a gentleman from the bank.
That is myself. Miss Manette, it was I who brought you to England when you were left an orphan at 2. Although your father was French, your mother was English. You have been a ward of Tellson's Bank ever since. Now, suppose that Monsieur Manette did not die. Now, pray, control yourself. As I was saying, if Dr. Manette did not die, but was imprisoned by a powerful enemy, and if this doctor's wife suffered so intensely from this, that she decided to tell her daughter that her father was dead, and to send her to England in blissful ignorance. You know, your parents had no great wealth. You have it all. There has been no great discovery of money or anything, but he has been found. Your father is alive.
Oh, alive?
Yes. He is greatly changed, but alive. He has been taken to the house of an old servant in Paris. We are going there. I to identify him, you to restore him to health.
It's his ghost. I am to see his ghost.
You could have been more gentle. There, my darling pretty.
I am afraid there is more. These are perilous times in France. You must not make a fuss when we are there. This is a secret mission.
How goes it, Defarge? Is the wine all swallowed?
Every drop. It is not often that these miserable beasts taste wine.
So much the worse. A bitter taste is all they have in their mouths.
My wife, gentlemen. You know where your room is, gentlemen? Adieu. You have a visitor, you see. What kind of shoe have you made?
A lady's shoe? A young lady's walking shoe.
What is the maker's name?
Did you ask my name?
Yes, I did.
105 North Tower.
Monsieur Manette, do you remember me? Do you remember this man? Does nothing come to your mind? An old banker, an old servant. That is the man. For one brief moment, I saw the man I knew.
It is the same. How can it be? When was it? How was it? Was it you? No, you are too young. She was before the years of the tower. Who are you? What is your name, my angel?
Soon you will know it, and who my father was, and my mother. All I can tell you now is kiss me and bless me.
The prisoner is Charles Darnay. He is accused of traveling between England and France, providing information regarding the disposition of His Majesty's forces in Canada to the Americans.
You have pleaded not guilty to an indictment of traitorously assisting Louis, the French king, in divers ways in his wars against our illustrious King George III. Witnesses, call Mr. Jarvis Lorry.
Mr. Lorry, look upon the prisoner. Have you, to your certain knowledge, seen him before?
I have.
When?
5 years ago, when I was returning from France. He was aboard the ship.
Had you any conversation with the prisoner?
Hardly any. It was a rough passage. I spent most of it lying on a couch.
Miss Manette. Miss Manette, have you seen the prisoner before?
Yes, on the same ship and at the same time as Mr. Lorry.
Did you have a conversation with him?
Yes, he showed me how to make my father more comfortable. He was very kind.
Did he tell the nature of his business?
He told me that he was traveling under an assumed name and that his business took him to France at intervals and would do so for a long time.
Did he say anything about America, Miss Manette?
He told me it was a foolish quarrel on England's part.
And then? Go on, Miss Manette.
He told me that George Washington might gain almost as great a name as George III. There was no harm intended. It was meant as a joke.
That will do. John Barsad, have you ever seen the prisoner before?
Yes, sir.
When? And under what circumstance?
I had taken service with him 4 years ago. I was with him on the ship from Calais.
And what did you see on board that ship?
I seen the prisoner give a list to 2 Frenchmen.
You're sure?
Yes. I seen him give secret lists to Frenchmen in Calais and Dover, too.
Your witness, Mr. Stryver.
Now, Mr. Barsad, you have no interest in this case other than doing your duty.
Yes, sir.
No motives, but sheer patriotism.
None whatsoever.
Are you sure you saw the prisoner with those lists?
I swear it.
Is that the man?
Yes, that is the man.
My lord, that man is my assistant, Sidney Carter. we then to try Mr. Carton for treason? The jury will now retire to reach a verdict. Have you reached a verdict?
Yes, my lord.
How find you?
We find the prisoner innocent.
How are you, Miss Pross?
I am very much put out about my ladybird.
May I ask why?
All these people who are not worthy of her coming round here after her.
Indeed.
There never was, nor ever will be, but one man worthy of Ladybird. And that was my brother Solomon, if he hadn't made that mistake.
And what was that?
He gambled away everything we had and then disappeared.
Oh, how sad. Tell me, Miss Pross, does the good doctor never touch upon his imprisonment? Never mention who was responsible?
To my understanding, he's afraid of the whole subject.
Afraid?
Yes. Touch upon that, and he instantly changes for the worse. Better leave it alone. Here they are. Hundreds of people, all after my ladybird.
Hello there, Laurie. Nice to see you.
Dr. Manette and Miss Lucy are entertaining Mr. Darnay in the garden. Follow me.
Mr. Lorry and Mr. Carton, how nice.
Greetings. We were just speaking of the old buildings of London. Pray, Dr. Manette, have you seen much of the tower?
Lucy and I have been there, but only casually.
As you know, I was kept there during my trial. I heard a curious thing about it.
What was that?
While making alterations, some workmen came across an old dungeon. Upon a cornerstone, a prisoner who was executed had carved 3 letters. They were D-I-G. As there was no prisoner with those initials, it was suggested it was the word dig. In the earth was found the ashes of a paper. What was written there will never be read. But it was something hidden away from the jailer.
Father, are you ill?
No, it is starting to rain. A large drop startled me. I commend you to the devil!
To my chateau, and quickly. Snappy, will he? I'll show him. Having been slighted at the fancy ball, Monsieur le Marquis was of the mind to see the common people dispersed before his horses. What is it? What is wrong?
Pardon, Monsieur the Marquis. Your carriage has run over a child.
Why does he make that abominable noise? Is it his child?
Yes, Monsieur the Marquis.
Dead! Killed! It is extraordinary to me that you cannot take care of yourselves or your children. How do I know what damage you have done my horses? Take that. Dead! Dead!
I know all. Be a brave man, my Damien. It is better for the poor little thing to have died instantly, without pain. Could it have lived as happily?
You are a philosopher. What do they call you?
I am Defarge, the wine vendor.
This is for you, philosopher.
Hold the horses! You dogs! Who threw that? I would willingly crush you beneath the horses' hooves if I knew who did that.
At night, the lamplighters let down their lamps, lighted them, and hoisted them again. The time was coming when the gaunt scarecrows of the region would improve upon this method and haul up men on these ropes and pulleys. The time was coming, and every wind that blew over France shook the rags of the scarecrows in vain, for the fine feathered birds took no notice. Is all in readiness for my nephew? I expect him tonight.
Yes, Marquis.
What is that?
What?
Quickly! I saw shadow cross the draperies. Open them.
There is nothing. The trees and the night are all that is there.
You have been a long time coming.
I have come back for that which took me away. I believe if you still had the power, you would have me confined to jail indefinitely.
For the honor of the family, I might even discomfort you to that extent.
I believe our family name of Saint Evremond to be the most detested in France. Sir, we have done wrong. The last request of my dear widowed mother was to redress the wrong and have mercy.
If you seek that from me, my nephew, you will seek in vain. I will die, perpetuating the system under which I live. Better to be reasonable and accept your natural destiny.
I renounce it, and the name Saint Evremond.
Good night. I look to the pleasure of seeing you in the morning. Light Monsieur, my nephew, to his chamber.
Drive him fast to his tomb. Signed Jacques.
Charles, I rejoice to see you. Mr. Stryver and Sidney Cotton were both here yesterday and remarked that you were overdue.
I am obliged for their interest. Miss Manette?
She is well. She is out at the moment, but will shortly return.
I knew it. I took this opportunity to speak to you, dear Dr. Manette. I love your daughter dearly, devotedly. You yourself have loved. Let your old love speak for me.
No, please, do not recall that to me. I beg you.
I'm sorry. I beg your pardon.
Please, I do not doubt you love Lucy. Have you spoken to her?
No.
Have you any reason to believe that Lucy loves you?
I believe so, but I have no reason to believe so. I understand well that even if Miss Lucy held me in her heart, I could retain no place in it against her love for her father.
If she should tell me you are essential to her happiness, I will give her to you. If there were any reasons, any apprehensions against the man she loved, they should all be obliterated for her sake.
Your confidence in me ought to be returned. My present name is not my own. I wish to tell you what it is and why I am in England.
Stop. Tell me when I ask you, not now. Do you promise?
Willingly.
Sidney, please come in. We are celebrating. Charles is to marry Lucy.
Wonderful. I couldn't be happier. Congratulations, old man. To a wonderful life for you both.
Now, Charles, there are some details for which I require your attention. I'm sure we can leave Lucy with Sidney for a few moments. Come along.
I fear you are not well, Mr. Carton.
The life I lead, Miss Manette, is not conducive to health.
Can I not help you, Mr. Carton?
It is too late for that. I shall never be better than I am. I shall sink lower and be worse. Even if it had been possible, Miss Manette, that you could have returned the love of this poor, drunken creature you see before you, he would have known, even in his happiness, that he could bring you only misery and sorrow. I want you to know, I would do anything for you. Always remember, there is a man who would give his life for you.
Jacques 1, Jacques 2, Jacques 3. This is Jacques 5. He was a witness. He will tell you all.
I first saw Damien, the father of the child the Marquis ran down, hanging under the carriage. Later, I heard Saint-Evremond was killed. For a while, Damien was well hidden, but unluckily he was found. One morning by the fountain, there was raised a gallows. He is hanged there now, 40 feet high, poisoning the water. It is frightful, monsieur. How can the women and children draw water?
How say you, Jacques? To be registered?
To be registered as doomed to destruction.
The chateau and all the rest.
Extermination.
Are you sure our register is safe?
Without a doubt, it is safe. No one beyond ourselves can decipher it. It would be easier for the weakest poltroon that ever lived to erase himself from existence than to erase one letter of his name or crimes from the knitted register of Madame Defarge.
Good day, Jack.
You are mistaken, monsieur. My name is Ernest Defarge.
Have the goodness to give me a glass of cognac. A bad business, this, your countryman's execution.
I know nothing of it. You seem to know this quarter well.
I hope to know it better. I've known Dr. Manette and his daughter from England. You don't hear from them, I suppose?
No. They have taken up their lives, we ours.
Well, Miss Manette is going to be married, but not to an Englishman, to one who, like herself, is French-born. And speaking of poor Damiens, it is a curious thing. She's going to marry the nephew of Monsieur the Marquis. He, of course, is now the present Marquis. I really must be going.
Is it he?
Yes, the English spy, John Basset, of whom we were warned. His name is entered.
Uncle Sidney!
You avail yourself of our home too seldom, Sidney.
Mr. Carton, such a pleasant surprise.
Hello, Carton.
Mr. Lorry was telling me about the great activity at Tellson's Paris branch.
Yes, it seems there is a rush of confidence in us. We cannot handle the great crush of deposits.
This has a bad look. We know how gloomy and threatening the French skies are.
To be sure, yet I must go there.
You are going to leave us, Mr. Lorry?
Business bores me, Lucy. I propose a game of backgammon.
You cannot undertake so arduous a journey. The city may not be safe.
My dear Charles, after all these years of working at Tellson's, who else should it be?
I wish I were going.
You? You want to go? You who are French-born?
It is precisely because of my birth that I ought to go.
In any case, no one can do Tellson's business but me. Getting things in and out of Paris today is next to impossible. The bank received this letter addressed to a Monsieur Saint-Evremond. Do you know this person? We have not been able to locate him.
I know him. I will deliver it for you. I have been seized and imprisoned in the Abbaye in Paris. My crime, Monsieur the Marquis, is that by being true to you, I have acted treasonably, and that your absence confirms it. For the love of heaven, I beg you rescue me from this place of horror. I pray you be true to me. Your afflicted Gabelle. I must go to him.
You cannot. You can only be safe here.
I am his only hope. They will not harm me when they see I have returned voluntarily on a mission of mercy. You must tell Monsieur Lorry the letter has been delivered.
Lucy, Manette, what has happened? What has brought you here?
Oh, my dear friend, my husband is here in Paris.
He has been here some days. He has been arrested and sent to prison.
You are in danger here yourself.
No, my friend. I have a charmed life in this city. I have been a Bastille prisoner. My old pain has given me a power that has given us news of Charles.
What prison is he in?
La Force.
La Force? Lucy, my child, if you were ever brave, you must be so now. You must leave your father and me alone for 2 minutes.
I will do it. I see by your face I can do nothing in this. I know you are true.
They are murdering the prisoners. If you are sure of what you say, if you really have the power you think you have, make yourself known at La Force. Hurry. It may already be too late. Do I know you? You come from Dr. Manette?
Yes, we come from Dr. Manette.
What is it? Is there a message? Lucy, come here.
Dearest, take courage. I am well, and your father has influence. You cannot answer this. Kiss little Lucy for me.
Is that his child?
Yes, madame. That is our poor prisoner's darling daughter.
It is enough, my husband. I have seen them. We may go.
Father, is Charles well?
He is well. He is no longer in solitary confinement, but mixed with the other prisoners. Now, my dear, I must speak with Mr. Lorry.
Come, Lucy. We will play in the bedroom.
What is it, my friend?
For 4 days and nights, they have been killing the prisoners. 1,100 defenseless men, women, and children.
And Charles?
He has been summoned to appear before the tribunal tomorrow.
Charles Evremond, called Darnay.
Charles Evremond, you are an immigrant whose life is forfeit to the Republic under the decree which banished all immigrants upon pain of death. It is of no matter what the date of the decree. It exists. He is here, and his head is demanded.
An enemy of the Republic! Take off his head! No!
Silence. Is it true you have lived in England for many years?
Yes.
Does that not make you an immigrant?
No. Because I voluntarily relinquished my title, which was distasteful to me, and left the country before the word emigrant was in use.
You married in England?
Yes, but to a citizeness of France.
Her name and family?
Lucy Manette, only daughter of Dr. Manette, the good physician who sits there.
Why did you return to France now and not sooner?
I came back to save a citizen's life. Is that criminal in the eyes of the Republic?
What is the name of that citizen?
Gabelle. He is my first witness.
Step down. Call Citizen Gabelle. Do you corroborate the prisoner's story?
I do. I am free as a direct result of Citizen Evremond called Darnay's surrender of himself.
The accused was my first friend on my release from my long imprisonment. He has faithfully devoted himself to my daughter and me in our exile.
Have you heard enough? Are you prepared to vote?
Yes. We are convinced of his good intentions.
Wait! There are more witnesses.
Come forward, citizeness. Who are the witnesses?
Citizen and Citizeness Defarge. And one other.
And this other?
Alexander Manette, physician.
Mr. President, I protest to you that this cannot be. It is a fraud.
Citizen Manette, calm yourself. Citizen Defarge, give your evidence.
When the doctor was spirited from the Bastille, he was placed in my care. He knew himself only as 105 North Tower. I resolved that when we took that accursed place, I would examine that cell. I was among the first to enter that fortress when it fell. I examined his cell very closely. In a hole in the chimney, I found a stone that had been removed and replaced. Behind it, I found this paper.
Step forward, Citizen Manette. Is this your hand?
Yes.
Read it.
I, Alexander Manette, write this paper in my cell in the Bastille. One December night in 1757, I was walking by the Seine near my residence when a furiously driven coach pulled up.
You are Dr. Manette?
I am.
You please enter the carriage.
Gentlemen, what is the nature of the case to which I am summoned? You will judge it better for yourself. I could do nothing but comply.
My husband, my father, my brother.
How long has this lasted?
Since about this time last night.
She has a husband, a father, and a brother? A brother. You are her brother? No! If I had known what I was coming to see, I would have come prepared.
My husband, my father, my brother.
There is another patient.
Is it an emergency?
You had better see.
I am a doctor, my dear fellow. How has this been done, monsieur? He is a crazed common dog, a serf. Forced my brother to draw on him. He has fallen by my brother's sword.
Have you seen her, Doctor?
I have seen her.
She is my sister, married to a tenant of his, that man who stands there. My sister had been married only a few weeks when that man and his brother took her away for a little pleasure and diversion. I hid my young sister and then tracked them here. I found them in this room. He was more skilled with the sword than I. Marquis, I mark this cross of blood upon you and yours to the last of your race to answer for your crimes.
The things you've seen here are not to be spoken of. The troublemakers are both dead. You have rendered your service. Please excuse me. Under the circumstances, no. Shortly after I had returned to my practice, a young lady with a son of about 6 came to see me. She identified herself as the Marquis's sister-in-law. She had discovered the cruel story and her husband's part in it.
I have reason to believe there is a young sister living. Please, tell me her name and where she abides.
Alas, dear lady, I am ignorant of both.
For his sake, Doctor, I would make what amends I can. I have a feeling that if no atonement is made for it, it will one day be required of little Charles. I have very little, a few jewels. I will make it the first duty of his life to bestow it on this injured family, if the girl can be found. You will be faithful to this, little Charles?
Yes.
That night, my servant, Ernest Defarge, told me of an urgent case in the Rue Saint-Honoré. He had a coach waiting. It took me here to my living grave. It was the work of the Evremonds. It was not in the hard hearts of either of the brothers to grant me any news of my dear wife. I believe they have no claim on the mercy of God. To them, and to all their descendants, to the last of their race, I, Alexander Manette, in my unbearable agony, denounce them to heaven and to earth.
That paper describes my family. The sister of the mortally wounded boy was my sister. That brother was my brother. Those dead are my dead. I am the sister that was saved for this day of vengeance.
We need not vote. We have decided.
Please, Charles and I know what a struggle you made of old. We know now what you underwent when you suspected his descent. We know what you struggled against and conquered for my sake. We thank you with all our hearts.
Solomon! Solomon!
Quiet.
Solomon, dear, Solomon. How, after all this time, do I see you here?
Don't call me Solomon. You want to see me killed?
Brother, dear brother, how can you ask me such a cruel question?
Then hold your meddlesome tongue. What do you want?
How dreadfully unkind to give me such a greeting, to show me no affection.
Don't think I'm surprised you're here. I knew it. If you don't want to endanger my life, go your way and let me go mine. I'm busy. I'm an official.
Barsad?
Mr. Carton.
Don't be alarmed, dear Miss Pross. I arrived yesterday evening at Mr. Lorry's. I wish you had a better employed brother than Mr. Barsad here.
Barsad?
Yes, John Barsad, employee of the conciergerie. I was watching the prison when I saw you coming out. I remembered your face. I remembered you in connection with the misfortunes of a friend, now very misfortunate. Would you excuse us? I would like your brother to accompany me to Tellson's bank.
To what purpose?
It might be dangerous to explain in the street.
Are you threatening me?
Really, Mr. Barsad?
See? I told you. If any trouble comes of this, it's your doing.
Come, Mr. Barsad. But for consideration for your sister, I might not have been so pleasant. Will you go with me to the bank?
Yes, I'll go with you.
These are desperate times, when desperate games are played for desperate stakes. Now, the stake I intend to play for is a friend in the conciergerie. And the friend I will use to win is Mr. Barsad.
You need good cards.
Let's see what I've got. Mr. Lorry, you know what a brute I am. Give me a brandy. Mr. Barsad, spy, emissary of the committees, now turnkey at the conciergerie. That's a good card. Mr. John Barsad, in the employ of the English government, and at the same time in the employ of the Republican French government. An excellent card. Have you followed my hand, Mr. Barsad?
And how will you play it?
I will play my ace, Mr. Barsad, to the nearest section committee. Don't rush. Look over your hand. See what you have. In 1 minute, I shall play my ace without hesitation, without scruple.
Be reasonable, sir. Stop. All right, I'll go on duty soon. What is it you want of me? No use asking too much. If it's not within my duty, I cannot help you.
You are a turnkey at the conciergerie.
I am sometimes.
You can pass in and out when you choose.
I tell you once and for all, there is no possibility of escape.
I want you to listen carefully to what I have to say. If you deviate from a single arrangement, your head is forfeit. When will you see Lucy?
I am going directly.
I depend on you. You must get them to the seacoast as quickly as possible. Tell them it is her husband's last wish, that more depends on it than she can ever believe. Remember the details. Have all prepared in the courtyard here, even to the taking of your own seat in the carriage. The moment I come, take me in and drive away. Wait for nothing once my place is occupied. Promise me solemnly that nothing will cause you to alter the course on which we have agreed.
Nothing, Carton.
Captain, are you a prisoner?
There is no time for questions.
Captain, there is no escaping from this place. You will only die with me. It is madness.
Change coats with me.
I implore you not to add your death to the bitterness of mine.
Do I ask you to leave? When I do, you can refuse. Now, shake out your hair like mine. Here, take this paper. Is your hand steady enough to write?
It was when you came in.
Write what I dictate. Quickly, friend, quickly.
To whom do I address it?
To no one. Just write. Do you remember the words that passed between us long ago? I am thankful the time has come when I can prove them. That I do so is no subject for regret or grief.
What is that smell?
Take him to the courtyard I showed you. Quickly now.
Follow me, Evremond.
I heard you were released, Evremond. I hoped it was true.
I am still here.
It is not his voice. Are you dying for him?
Yes, and his wife and child.
Will you let me hold your hand, brave stranger?
Yes, my poor sister. To the last.
Where is the wife of Evremond?
What do you want with her?
Tell her I wish to see her. It will do her no good to keep herself concealed from me. Citizen Doctor! Wife of Evremond! Child of Evremond! If they are not here, they can be pursued and brought back. Out of the way! I will tear you to pieces!
So long as you don't know if they're in that room, you are uncertain of what to do. You shall not pass!
Your papers. Whom have we within? Alexander Manet, physician, French. Which is he?
I am he.
Lucy, his daughter, French. Which is she?
This is she.
The wife of Evremond, is she not?
She is.
Yeah, Evremond has an appointment elsewhere. Lucy, her child, English. Where is she?
This is she.
Sidney Carton, advocate, English. Which is he?
He lies here.
What's wrong with him?
Too much to drink. He has a friend who is under the displeasure of the Republic.
Is that all? Jarvis Lally, banker, English. Which is he?
I am he.
The Evremonds must be exterminated. The wife and the child must follow the husband and father.
We can leave then, citizen.
You may pass. A good journey.
But for you, dear stranger, I should not be so composed. I think you were sent to me by heaven.
Or you to me. Keep your eyes on me, dear child, and mind no other object.
I mind nothing while I hold your hand. I shall mind nothing when I let go, if they are quick.
They will be quick. Fear not.
You comfort me so much. Is it time?
Yes.
May I kiss you?
Bless you. That I do so is no subject for regret or grief.
I see the lives for which I lay down my life, peaceful and happy, in that England which I shall see no more.
It is a far, far better thing I do than I have ever done. It is a far, far better rest I go to than I have ever known.